Good afternoon. My name is Tolga Erbor. I am the Vice President of Public Relations and Railroad Relations for High Speed Rail America Club. Our organization is the first university student organization to be dealing with and tackling the issue of transportation and searching for high-speed rail solutions such as the American Maglev Technologies, Miami Maglev. And also we are working with partners like All Aboard Florida and Texas Central Railway. Representatives from All Aboard Florida and American Maglev Technology will be speaking with you today as well. What type of city is Miami supposed to be? Like, one word, I'm going to ask you guys.
Connected.
Yeah. I mean, what is Miami known for?
Diversity.
Diversity, we're getting to the word.
Tourism.
Close. Well, okay. Miami's a world-class city. We have world-class beaches, world-class entertainment, world-class sports, but do we have world-class transportation? Not necessarily. I mean, we have some infrastructure. We have All Aboard Florida about to happen. We have Metro Rail, Tri-Rail, but those do not necessarily connect the entire region. And what we're going to be speaking about today is going to be one of the first breakthroughs to connect eastern Miami to western Miami, the first of which has ever happened in the history of this great region. So who's tired of traffic? Everyone. And did you guys deal with traffic coming here today? Yes. Yeah, unfortunately you can't really get away, and that's what the Miami Maglev here is here to resolve. The Miami Maglev will be connecting Florida International University, Dolphin Mall, Miami International Airport, downtown Miami, and will be connecting to All Aboard Florida, the Port of Miami, and also Miami Beach. So you get to do many things with Miami Maglev. With Maglev, you're able to cosplay for Florida SuperCon in the Miami Beach Convention Center, if you want. That's one thing that you can do. You can also take in some Miami sun, transfer to Tri-Rail, All Aboard Florida, or even fly to one of Miami International Airport's over 150 destinations worldwide. So while you're taking Miami Maglev, people from the Dolphin will be looking up at you while they only keep up with the snail, because the Maglev will be able to go at top speeds up to 79 miles per hour. And also, while you're riding Miami Maglev, you're able to save a lot of stress and a lot of time that you would otherwise be focused while driving, and instead be able to write essays, write your expenses and revenue sheet that your boss is bugging you about, and just enjoy the ride, which you should actually be able to do with Miami Maglev. Anyway, without further ado, I would like to introduce our next speaker for the program, Club President Dmitry Spielberg.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right. Now, I just want to take a look around the room, as we can see here. I mean, it's a pretty futuristic looking room, right? And you can see about 3 millennia ago, the Greeks invented something sort of like this, sort of auditorium, but they didn't use microphones. They definitely didn't use fancy presentation technology like we're using right now. So we moved ahead from that. Fast forward to today over here in Miami, we haven't really moved forward on our transportation. We're sort of stuck in a Greek era of transportation. So what we're trying here is to make something and make a difference, to fix it. That's, you know, sort of what the whole millennial generation is. So what I created back when I was 19 is something called the High Speed Rail America Club. And what we're trying to bring is to bring bullet trains over to the United States, simply put in one phrase. And we've collaborated with companies such as All Aboard Florida, who's also going to be here to present, and also American Maglev Technology, which is the brainchild of both organizations to try to connect FIU to the beach and everything in between. So if by any chance, if you have not seen the video of what the Miami Maglev looks like, here's what it is. So in a nutshell, what we are is we're trying to fix, there's a problem here in the United States, especially here in Miami. We have no way of connecting without a car. We're always stuck in traffic, and it's a nightmare, we can all see. So what's the solution to all of this? It's basically one train to connect both major points in South Florida. That's what it's going to look like, and it is supposed to be a clean technology, but more to what we do. This is what everyone else is doing right now. This is in Japan. It's not a spaceship, that's an actual bullet train. That goes around 200 miles an hour. Over here in the United States, we have something that's called Amtrak, and I'm very familiar with it because since I was a kid, I used to always go up to New York. That's where half my family lives up there. And my brother Darius, who's also the director of research here at High Speed Rail America Club, he has autism, so he's not able to go on a plane, and if he goes on a plane, he'll just freak out. So what we do is we take the train all the way up from here, from Miami, all the way up to New York. You want to guess how long that is?
Like 6 hours.
It's 32 hours. It's ridiculous. Back in the 1930s, it used to take 24 hours, so we've actually gone backwards. There's a lot of things we've gone backwards here in the country, but we're hoping to fix it. And this is one of the solutions to do it, is to bring everyone together in this sort of infrastructure that has once brought the country together once after the Civil War. And it's a sort of way that we're trying to repeat history, hence it rhymed with history in a way. And this is one of the ideas that we came up with also too, is to try to connect Miami all the way up to New York. This was something that I came up also too right after that Amtrak ride all the way up to New York. When you've been taking it for 7 years, you get a little bit tired of it. So, mind you, this is a little rudimentary of what we're trying to do to fix it. So this is the type of stuff that we do here in the club. Like I said, we are young people, so we try to look to the future. As Thomas Jefferson once said, I'm not interested in hearing about the future, but I'm not interested about the past, but what I am interested in is the dreams of the future. So this is the type of stuff that we do over here. And of course, if you are welcome to join us or follow us, this is where you can join the Railvolution, as we call it. So we do have a Facebook group where we have over 800 members now since we started a year ago. So it has caught up, not only just here in America, but in the world also too. So think about it. It's not just here in America that we're trying to bring bullet trains and mass transit, but it's around the world. Everyone else is cheering us on to say, we want to bring bullet trains over here. There's even a person that I know over in the Netherlands who wants to even finish his job over there. He used to drive bullet trains and come over here to drive the bullet trains over here that All Aboard Florida is bringing. We're also on YouTube. We have about almost 400 subscribers also too. That's where we put a lot of the bulk of research and also daily, weekly episodes of what we do. And we're trying to do a documentary as well that's called The American Train, which sort of showcases everything and brings it up. And we're also on Twitter too. So again, this is the future. Of course, it's never easy. But what we try to do, it's always one step at a time that the future comes in. And we hope that from here, that maybe a couple months from now, this room will be a heck of a lot more full than what it is right now, because it is a huge issue. And it's just one of the things that goes to say that it's not a big issue right now. But everyone, it's the first thing on everyone's mind. How am I going to get to school on time? How am I going to get to work on time? Why do I have to be in traffic? Is there a different way? And this is the way. And this is a different way. All right, so we're going to move on to the next presenter. I'd like to introduce Carol Henderson onto the stage. Well, she is the Director of Partnership Alliance, correct, Carol?
Yes.
Yes, at All Aboard Florida. What All Aboard Florida is finally a way to connect Miami to Orlando. So for the first time in history, America is going to have a sort of bullet train. So I'll let Carol explain it also more in detail.
Great. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here. I have to tell you that we're so excited with what is happening here at FIU, and I'm really honored to be here today to tell you a little bit about All Aboard Florida. Well, I just wanted to mention we are the first privately owned, operated, maintained intercity passenger rail in the country. So we're really excited about that. We're seated in history. We're the old grandfathered company of Henry Flagler. If you remember back in your history, Henry Flagler brought the railroad to Florida in the late 1890s from Jacksonville all the way down to Key West. And we're using that same footprint. So that's what makes us very successful today. We have that same footprint that was there in the late 1890s. So we've got all that great infrastructure already there. We're part of 4 companies under Florida Real Estate, or Florida East Coast Industries, and you can see all aboard Florida. It's just one entity under Florida East Coast Industries. We're really going to bring a new way to travel in South Florida. For the first time, you'll have 32 trains, 16 up from Orlando, or down from Orlando, and 16 up from Miami. We'll have 32 trains a day. The first one leaving Orlando around 5 a.m., the last one arriving into Miami Central around midnight. And our trains will be new. They're all built in America, in Sacramento by Siemens. We'll have 2 cars that are business class, a car in the middle that is a retail cafe car, and then 2 family-friendly cars, which will be more of a standard pricing. So we're really excited about what our trains are new. They're sleek. We've thought of everything down to the details. We're also the first ADA compliant train in the country, so if anyone's handicapped, they'll be able to travel on our trains very easily with our larger than normal aisleways, our restrooms, and just the overall station. Our stations are flat, so someone with a wheelchair will be able just to roll up onto our trains. We're not only the privately owned and operated intercity rail, but we also have something called transit-oriented development. And what that is, we have real estate around our stations. So each of our stations from Miami, West Palm Beach, and Fort Lauderdale have not only the station, but the rail as well. And each of our stations will have retail space, we have office space, and we also have, particularly in Miami, we're going to have on top of the stations 2 high-rise apartment buildings that will be on top. And we also have living apartments near our stations in West Palm Beach as well. So we're not only just the train, but we're the transit-oriented development. And here's a look at what our development looks like. You can see in Orlando, we're actually going to be going into the Orlando International Airport, and there we're going into the South Terminal, and that South Terminal is being built, and that South Terminal will also house Sunrail, which is coming in on their 3rd leg, and Maglev, which is also going to be part of this. The interesting thing about this terminal too, it will also house eventually all the international flights that come in from all around the world into this site as well. So it will really be a true interconnectivity in the Orlando airport. Then the second place is West Palm Beach, and you can see it's a smaller footprint, and we're right downtown in Center City in West Palm Beach, the same way in Fort Lauderdale, and then Miami Central, which is our 11-acre footprint in downtown Miami. We're really going to deliver a hassle-free experience. We have free Wi-Fi for anyone on the train, so you'll be able to come on, enjoy, relax. We'll have, as I mentioned, the cafe retail car where you can get a drink, coffee in the morning, and really just have a different type of experience. We will be pet-friendly. We've also taken into consideration the international traveler that comes to Florida. We have in all of our locations, we have luggage towers as well as luggage availability. So we've taken that into consideration as well. And again, the other thing that we're really keen on is that last mile. We know people traveling from around want to be connected to that last mile. So we're taking into consideration at all our stations, we have car share programs, such as in Miami, we'll have car to go, we'll have car rental, we even have bicycles. We'll have Deco Bike in Miami and bicycle connectivity in all of our stations. So we really have thought of that last mile and getting our customer to that last mile conveniently. Again, we'll have the state-of-the-art train sets built by Siemens. We're really going to have 2 locomotives per train, so if one shuts down, the other one will take over for a great, reliable service. And what I'm really excited about, we have something that will be the first company in America to have, and that's something called positive train control. You've probably heard of some of the trains that have gone too fast and then have had accidents. We'll have the technology that if the train surpasses a certain speed, it automatically shuts down. So that's pretty exciting for us as well. This is a look at who's going to be traveling on our trains. You can see it's about a third of customers. The business traveler, which we consider the Florida resident that might be going up to visit a relative or making a trip to the parks. We have the leisure traveler who's coming internationally from Miami International Airport to go to the parks perhaps, or enjoy family here. And we also have the business traveler. So those are our projected ridership and what it looks like. Here's just a closer look of our stations. This is Miami Central. And I want to talk a little bit about Miami Central. We will be like an international train station in Europe. The train will come in 50 feet in the air. So you'll come under 395. The train will continue upward, and it will be coming into Miami Central 50 feet in the air. So it'll be a very exciting view. The other exciting thing that's happening is Tri-Rail got funding about a month ago to connect to our train stations. So not only do we have Tri-Rail connecting to us, but we'll also have Metro Rail. So if you're coming in from Miami International Airport, you'll be able to get on the Orange Line, come downtown to Miami Central, our station, and then head straight to Orlando seamlessly. The same way if you live south, you'll be able to go from Metro Rail south into Miami and then jump on our train heading north to Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach. The other last link we have is the Metro, the little people mover in downtown. We also connect to that. So we're really connected with Tri-Rail, Metro Rail, Metro Mover, and all the way to Orlando. So the connectivity is finally there at all the stations. This is Orlando International Mobile Facility again, just to give you an idea what it looks like. And again, this is being built by the Greater Orlando Airline Authority. This is we will be the first leasee into this intermodal hub. The train will go 79 miles an hour from Miami to West Palm Beach. At West Palm Beach, all aboard Florida picks up speed. It goes 110 miles an hour to Cocoa Beach, makes the turn at Cocoa Beach, and 125 miles an hour into Orlando International Airport. So if you're driving along 528 there, you'll see us whiz right back through and to the North Terminal, into the future intermodal facility, and that's where you'll end with all aboard Florida. You can also see we're building a maintenance facility at Orlando International Airport, and that's where all the trains will be serviced at night when they need cleaning and service, and then they'll head back the next day for their daily service. This is the West Palm Beach footprint. And West Palm Beach, this is the office and tower that's connected with West Palm Beach. And you can see we're in the donut of the city. We're right downtown between Clematis Avenue and City Place. We're a terrific location for walkability, and we're very close to the Tri-Rail station. So if you live west or want to take the Tri-Rail, you'll be able to walk over to us, get on all aboard Florida, then head north or south at that point. And West Palm is so excited to have us there. They really feel from a tourism perspective that there will be a lot of people that will come into West Palm Beach. Perhaps West Palm Beach is one of those cities that people know about but not in detail, and now they can be delivered on the doorstep there. So they're really excited to work with us. This is Fort Lauderdale, and again, we're in a great location in Fort Lauderdale. We're right at Broward and 2nd, and you can see the red, that's our footprint. Broward is also going to be linked by the future Wave streetcar from a connectivity. So we'll have the streetcar, we'll have the rental car, we'll have the car share, we'll have the bicycles. So again, the connectivity is all that's really important. And of course, we'll have the connectivity to get visitors to not only the cruise port, but also the airport. And then again, this is downtown Miami, a look at what we look like. We're 5 blocks long. So again, we're a big footprint. This is the original land that Henry Flagler owned back in the 1890s. So he had his original train station right on the same footprint, which is really, I think, historically interesting. And another shot from downtown Miami. Again, the two towers in the middle are the residential units. Those will be rental units. And then we'll have two office towers on either side. The far left is a phase 2, which will house not only an office tower, but a hotel. And then across the street, we also have another building that's directly across the tower on the north side. This is a look at how Tri-Rail comes into All Aboard Florida, our Miami Central station. You can see the two platforms will sit side by side. You'll just be able to walk over and get on All Aboard Florida for convenience. Our timeline is we are fully under construction. So if you go downtown Miami, you will see the 11 acres already under construction. And we are also under construction in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. A lot is happening and we're really excited. You can see the peak construction happens in 2016, and then in 2017 we launch. The first, what we call short haul, will be from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach in early 2017, and then we call something called the long haul, which heads into Orlando International Airport the fall of 2017. So we're about 2 years out right now. Great. Thank you, and thank you again for inviting me to be here. We're really excited to be part of your forum here. Thank you.
On to the next presentation is the main event here also too as well. On to the next presentation is the main event here also too as well. This is for, of course, the Miami Maglev. And Arnold Gibbs will be speaking on it. He is from American Maglev Technology. He's come all the way over here to tell us all about the benefits that here at FIU we're going to get and the rest of South Florida. So without further ado, Mr. Arnold Gibbs.
Thank you, Dmitry. First, thanks very much for having me here today. This is my first time on the campus. I have met with former Vice President Stephen Sauls about this project and former Director of Outreach in the College of Business, Mel McGuire, about this project. We started a project 5 years ago in Orlando. Our first meeting with Governor Scott was in July of 2011, and we have been inching our way forward in getting a project to connect the Orlando International Airport out of the same intermodal center that Carol presented before, stop at Florida Mall, and connect on to the Orlando Convention Center. Our project is called EMI. It stands for Environmental Mitigation Mobility Initiative. Our train is, again, completely privately financed, gives off no emissions, has no moving parts other than the doors and the air conditioning units. Will travel at a max speed, can travel at a max speed of 125 miles an hour, although we won't be achieving that in the connection between the airport and the convention center, but we will have an average speed of about 65 miles an hour between the two. We'll have, to start with, we're going to have 10-minute headways. So every 10 minutes, a train will be leaving the airport, getting to the convention center, and one will be leaving the convention center, heading toward the airport. Our partners in this are Ricardo, which is a world-renowned engineering company and manufacturer of trains. AMT, of course, is who we are. Our founder, Tony Morris, invented the technology that we utilize today. And we actually float on a magnetic field, and we're propelled by two 1,150 horsepower linear induction motors. So it's completely silent, makes no noise, and puts off no emissions, as I said. So it's green, it's efficient, and it's fast. Our international partner is Global Via. Global Via is the largest concessionaire, one of the top 4 concessionaires in the world. They run the Barcelona tram. That's a picture of what they do in Barcelona. They're our concession partner, meaning they're putting up all the money for us. The AMT, of course, developed a magnetic levitation system. It's fully compliant with the automated people mover systems in the federal government. Ricardo, as I said, is going to be doing the assembly. They'll be putting an assembly plant in Orlando along the track to assemble those. Siemens is providing our control systems. Just as they're building the trains for All Aboard Florida, they'll be doing all our control systems. These are driverless cars, all of which will be operated out of a central control system. The keys to our success is we're really a flexible, lightweight structure. We're a smart vehicle. We're all elevated, so there's no grade crossing, so there's no accidents like we've been having. We've now had 7 accidents between the trains and the cars in Orlando in the first year of operation. So we'll have none of that because we're all elevated except when we go to the airport. So, and our cost of construction, the typical light rail cost of construction is between $75 and $100 million a mile. Our cost of construction is $25 to $30 million a mile because we're leasing right-of-way, we're using existing right-of-way, we don't have to do any condemnation or anything like that. We're energy efficient, driverless, as I said, and no moving parts. This is the route that we've got that we're doing in Orlando, and we're underway now with the engineering, and we're in the field doing the geotechnical investigation for columns. Our columns are like 5-foot diameter columns, 28 feet in the air. The train will be 28 feet in the air. So we have a very limited footprint, and this is on all already vetted, environmentally used right-of-way. The length of that system will be 12 miles. There'll be 3 passenger stations. The airport at the same intermodal center of All Aboard Florida is going into. We'll have a stop at Florida Mall, which is the largest in Central Florida, actually one of the largest in the state of Florida. And then continuing on to the convention center area, where we will provide for the last mile to connect to the hotels, convention center. One-way trip will be 50 minutes, and I said top speed will be 60 miles an hour. This is what we started when we received after 5 years of working with the Florida Department of Transportation, we received a contract, signed contract with FDOT. We got a call from MDX asking whether we would be interested in doing a similar system here to connect Florida International University to the Miami airport. And of course, as you see, I was told by former Vice President Sauls that the Dolphin Mall is more or less the food court for Florida International University. Apparently you guys go over there to eat a lot. So I've been in touch with the Taubman people that own the Dolphin Mall about putting a station there. And then we had already been interested in what has been worked on for 15 years in Miami, the Bay Link. And so we decided, well, as long as we're going to FIU to Orlando, to Miami International Airport, we should go ahead and go and connect into the seaport. So we'll be able to move cruise passengers from the airport to the seaport seamlessly. And I have contacted the airport director and the director of the Miami Seaport to discuss with them. So then we said, well, we may as well go downtown and connect into the Clark Center, nearby where All Aboard Florida is going to be, and follow the same route, or approximately the same route. Actually, we won't go down and take any space off of the Venetian Causeway, go across the bay to Miami Beach and up to the convention center. In addition to that, and this is a new map that we just had made, that you guys should be very excited about. And believe me, I can understand why you need this here, having been here today. This would be a circulator that would circulate around the campus of Florida International University and stop at the major nodes where people seem to need to be the most. These were put together for us by Dmitry. That would then connect at one of those stations, the major station. We'll call this the circulator, that will circulate around the campus with anywhere between 2 and 10-minute headways, so you can get around the campus without having to get down on the streets. And then there will be a connector from that. There'll be a station that will then get off the circulator and be able to get on the connector and go all the way to Miami Beach. You can't see this very well, but this is the CapEx, the cost. When I saw in the paper that the engineering estimate for Baylink was $526 million, going on using conventional light rail on the ground, taking a lane off of the Venetian Causeway with a number of grade crossings where they'll interfere with traffic. And their budget for that was $526 million. We can build a 22-mile track connecting Florida International to the airport, to the seaport, to the Clark Center, across the bay to Miami Beach and up to the convention center for $558 million. So for just $22 million more, we can do a complete east-west connect, all elevated. Today, as I was driving out here, I realized that you could probably throw a ball from the Dolphin Expressway to the Marlins Stadium. So we perhaps may put a station at Marlins Stadium as well. This is what our system will stations will look like. That's just one of our station concepts. So it could be on the campus, or it could be one of the stations at the mall, or again at the airport. We plan at the airport to connect into the MIC, and we would like to work out something with All Aboard Florida. And we've been in constant contact with All Aboard Florida about what we're doing, and we're working in conjunction with them to help get the intermodal center moving in Orlando. Again, another shot of what the stadium looks like. And that's the existing car. Ricardo is working now, we're engineering it to give it a little more futuristic look. That vehicle right there is actually on our test track in Atlanta. We've had a test track in operation there for the last 5 years. It's been fully vetted by the federal government. We have people from all over the world that have come and ridden on this. And we have better than a $25 billion backlog of work around the world to build these trains. With MDX's entry coming to us, and with the interest that has been shown by Florida International University administration, and hopefully I'll be meeting this afternoon with Saif, who is President Rosenberg's right-hand guy, to get them involved. We expect to start our construction in Orlando by the end of this year, and we will be immediately coming down here and getting this one moving as well. So that's what American Maglev plans to do for FIU. We think the circulator is an exciting thing. In talking to Mel McGuire this morning, I found out that you've got another campus up near Aventura, so we might even be able to work out to connect from Miami Beach up to the FIU campus there and cut down on that hour commute from the two campuses. So this is a long-range plan. It's not something that's going to happen while you guys are still in school, I'm sure, or while I'm still alive, maybe, I don't know. But we plan through our partners Global Via to build about a $5 billion transit system to connect east-west, the Atlantic to the Gulf, and then to the seaport in Port Canaveral. And again, this connector down here, also one in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg. So we've got a lot of opportunity in Florida. Florida's ready for it. The world is ready, for efficient, cost-effective transportation. Any questions of me? Well, yes, sir.
What size would you say the cars that
Well, being as I only got started talking about this week, it'd be about the same size car as we have. The cars that we're going to have on the connector in Orlando and the one we would use for the connector here, there'd be a two-car train set. One would be like a first-class car, and the other would be more standard. But we can get 200 people on a vehicle. So depending on, you know, how many vehicles we put, and how long the headway is, we can move a lot of students around the campus. Yes, sir.
will you be available after the meeting tomorrow?
Absolutely. I was expecting to be here till 2 o'clock anyway, so I'll be happy to.
I just had an idea. We use the road systems here, most of them have, we used to call New Jersey barriers.
Yes.
Barriers.
Yes.
To build up a vehicle that flies on those. That's a mini rail, the monorail system. For smaller vehicles, 6 to 8 passengers. Maybe you could use the Maglev technology. And if you change in the road system, to continue them around the bigger buttons, you got the system place.
The problem with that is you're going to end up with, you know, vehicle interference if they're that low. It's not a bad idea, but I don't know that that would support the weight of our. Well, you said smaller vehicles. You can make smaller cars as well. Yeah, we haven't looked at that. We haven't looked at. It's kind of like something in London, the 4-passenger vehicles that they have in Heathrow.
They're much larger than I was just stating.
Right. No, we haven't looked at that. We got enough work going for us to try to get this one done. So.
Again, the right-of-way is already there. The
Right.
structure is already there.
Those structures wouldn't support what we have to do
Like
there.
that, you know, that's how to do something like
Yeah.
smaller scale, local systems between locations, and, you know.
It's something that in the future we could look at, but again, we're focusing on trying to get these two moving. I'll be continuing to come to Miami to meet with the government. I've already met with MDX on a number of occasions. I've met with Miami-Dade Transit. We'll be meeting with the mayors of both Miami Beach and Miami-Dade County. Former Mayor Maurice Ferre, who is on the board of MDX, has volunteered to be our champion down here, and Maurice, you know, has been a very effective community member in Dade County. So I've been coming to Dade County since the day I was born. My mother was the first Jewish child born in Dade County in 1914. So she still lives. She's 101 years old. The population of this county was 1,300 people when she was born. So I've watched since 1942. I've watched Dade County grow like crazy, and it's time that we had something besides expressways. That's for sure. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
We touched on county roads, and so with that, we have urban sprawl out to the Everglades. And I'm seeing that as far west as this is going is FIU and Dolphin Mall. When does the plan expand to like West Inland?
Well, we haven't looked at that. As again, third-generation native Floridian on both sides of my family, I'm not that anxious to get a train running through the Everglades. But, I mean, we could run it along 75 and take it over to Naples or something like that. But the need is from this part of West Dade County over to the beach to get some more east-west transportation system going. Anyone else? Well, again, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm available at any time if you guys have questions. And as I said, I'll be coming back down and meeting with the various government officials, and you'll be hearing more about it as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you again for coming over here. We'll hope to see you again soon for our next events. Thank you.